The Golden Knights dictated play, defeating one of the top teams in the NHL as misfit Riley Smith delivers the clutch game-winning goal late in the third period.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Dasco and Chris Gawlik from Las Vegas. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. During the tournament, FanDuel is offering $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days. Head to FanDuel.com. Coming up ahead on today's show, VGK snapping the three-game losing streak to perhaps get back on track in the Western Conference. Was it a defining win for VGK and for Riley Smith? And again, with Smith, why hasn't he seen action down the stretch? Coming up again, don't forget to join us each and every day, Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock. You can catch our show on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. SSSEN can be found on Cox Cable Channel 77 and on YouTube TV. It was one of the most important momentum-shifting victories of the season. Let's face it, for VGK. It was a gritty game in the victory yesterday. VGK over the Stars, a team that has seen its offense dry up of late. Riley Smith, let's talk about him from the open, and then we'll talk about him later on, but he hadn't been in the VGK lineup for nearly 2 weeks. In our bonus edition on Sunday morning, I continue to bang the drum for the experienced Riley Smith to be in the lineup. He knows what it takes to win, and Riley Smith comes up with a big goal, delivers the game winner, picking up the loose change late in the third period.
Smith had been out since March the 10th.
The 10th,
March the 10th. That's a long time. It's a long time. We've been very critical of Braden Bowman and the fact that I don't think he's necessarily ready for a full-time NHL role. Had some good moments, but you need a player like Riley Smith in there. I won't get too deep on that, but it made sense for the change, and Coach Cassidy gets rewarded mightily with the game-winning goal right there. And it was a good game. Momentum shifting, sure, it puts the team in the right direction. Is the corner turned? We can debate that in a little bit. But for the moment, for now, the team, the players, the fans can enjoy just a taste of maybe what this team is still capable of.
3-2, the VGK victory. And one of the big keys was the Golden Knights scoring first. I thought that the first period in Nashville, we talked about this on our bonus edition as well, was one of the better periods for VGK with territorially 20 shots on net. That's what Cassidy was saying after last night's game. The constants in the losing streak, I believe, were a combination of a matter of a few things, but what really stood out to me, Chris, was the lack of net front presence, and opposing goalies played really well with solid rebound control. And that's where Dallas lost the game yesterday. The lack of a rebound control off the shot by Mitch Marner and Riley Smith picking up the loose change.
Yeah, you like that goal, right? It starts as a basic cycle, something every team learns, every kid learns probably about 10, 12 years old, learns the value of a cycle. Marner finds some time and space. And watching that play in real time, I'm like, why is he not passing to Theodore? Theodore had a wide open lane, and then, well, it all worked out anyway. So that's what Marner is able to do. And Mitch Marner, the center, that's something that Coach Cassidy went back to. I was happy to see Riley Smith back in the lineup, and then I saw Mitch Marner, the center, and I'm like, here we go again.
Almost there. We're almost there.
It's a good song, but, listen.
The song remains the same. Is that the song? Is that the
something like
song?
that? I mean, was this panic by Cassidy, right? Cassidy felt like, these are my lines going into the playoffs with Hertl centering line 2, Marner on the wing, Braden Bowman on line 3. And then on a back-to-back, he just changes it up. Now, flip side to that, we've heard Coach Cassidy mention about in-game adjustments and moving players around. Sometimes they play a simpler game as a result. I think the same can be said on the heels of a back-to-back after a not a great loss. So you shake things up a little bit. Kolesar back on that third line with Hertl, et cetera, et cetera. you put players in different spots and they kind of dummy the game down a little bit, and it worked out.
Brayden McNabb, he had his best highlight of the season. First, he wins a board battle, stick handling through traffic, and then he scores the first goal for VGK. We have never seen the guy that they call Nabber, right? That's his nickname, I think, something like that. We've never seen him become this explosive on offense the way he has been of late. He is one goal away from tying his career high of 5 goals in a season. 5 points and 2 goals since coming back from the Olympic break. What up with Brayden McNabb, the Nabber?
I was thinking what the career high was in my head. I thought it was like 6 or something like that, so I had to give a little chuckle. I mean, listen, we've seen, all jokes aside, we know McNabb the defender, but we've seen him have really good hands around the nets, and it's just these strange and great natural instincts. 5, 6, 10, 12 shots in his last 5 games. So he's getting up the ice. And I actually used the visualizer with my 12U team. I already sent to our group chat. I already sent it out and said, watch. Our breakouts are designed for the forwards and the wings from the half wall and from the boards. But the defense can join the breakout too. We attack as a unit. And Colasar, great patience, saw McNabb streaking down the middle, and McNabb probably still hasn't stopped skating after that goal.
That was pretty. That was a real nifty goal at a time when VGK needed that the most. Cassidy called the second power play unit the first power play unit, and the penalty kill on Jack Eichel's double minor penalty probably the turning point in yesterday's game.
Yeah, for sure. I was listening to that call on the radio, and it seemed like Dallas didn't have a whole lot during that 4-minute sequence there. So a turning point, especially because that's what the turning point was against Nashville the night before. So, here we go again. This is gonna be the theme. What, White Snake song, right? White Snake? I don't know, whatever. But that was the
video.
Theme.
Good video back in the day when
they
had
watch that
MTV.
while you're blabbing about something here. Some things Cassidy talked about, what I liked was sometimes you measure the game by the process. He felt sometimes he's in outer space, feeling like, the team
said outer
space
better. That was crazy. Okay.
Yeah, but it made sense. I mean, he's a coach defending his team, and process before results. I like that from about games, let's call it 20 to about 40, 20 to about 50. But now it's win those friggin' games. Probably another thing Coach Cassidy said. Probably sooner or later they're going to be on the right side of the results as being the better team. So Cassidy's felt the team has deserved better. I hate the word deserved. I'd rather replace that with earned, but he's felt the Golden Knights should have deserved better in some of their recent skids, and an argument can be made. You look at things like high danger chances. You look at how they jumped on the Preds on Saturday, and it all worked out on Sunday against the Stars. And I'll take a little victory lap. I was very confident that I thought they'd at least win by multiple goals, but I was very confident that it was going to be a loss against the Preds and a win against the Stars. And that's exactly what happened. And people thought I was on outer space, and
you were. You were in outer space.
Take that.
Goaltending. Adin Hill stopping
cyberspace.
Adin Hill stopping 13 of 15 shots, holding very strong in a tight defensive battle. VGK won that game yesterday because mostly due in part to the good defense in front of him, which has let him down in the past.
15 shots on goal.
15, that's it.
You better win a game when you
better.
15 shots.
Well, you also better win a game when you have 40 shots
64 shots. Yes, exactly. Listen, you got to like Adin Hill's game. There was a lot of big saves in that second and third period. Another Scorpion save, not being talked about as much. He's on his tummy and kicks his left foot over, and I don't know who the shooter was, but great play. And Casey DeSmith on the other side, really good goaltending for the Stars. I said, relax, VGK fans. Don't be happy. We're not getting Ottinger. DeSmith is pretty good too, and he was great. That save on Rasmus Anderson in the third period, right in his glove. But yeah, great up and back hockey. Tony gets a victory lap for taking the 1A, 1B, 1C of Riley, Cole, and DeSmith to a pot of goal. He got one of those, so he got a little return on his money.
Come on, that was pretty funny. I didn't even know Riley was going to be in the lineup. And Ivan Barbashev scoring yesterday on the power play, greasy goal.
Set play.
He didn't go between his legs on that play. So he finished it off. Coming up next, VGK defeating the Stars, who suffered just their second regulation loss since January. Are the Golden Knights back on track, or is this another ration of fool's gold? Comes your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The tournament is here, one of the best times of the year. Dasco winds up losing 3 games by a total of 2 points on the weekend. Brackets, buzzer beaters, upsets, it's nonstop action from tip to the final cutdown. And right now, FanDuel's giving new customers a way to stay in the action all tournament long. And the best part is that you get to enjoy all of these buzzer beaters and not a ton of big-time upsets, but it still is a lot of fun. And you get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days. That means 10 chances to stay involved throughout the entire tournament. You can mix it up however you want. Game picks, futures, or even game time parlays, or same game parlays, I should say, for bigger payouts. It's perfect for the tournament because every day there is something new, different matchups, new storylines, and more ways to get involved as the bracket unfolds. So visit FanDuel.com to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com to get in on the action. We are also brought to you today by Quo, Quo. Spring is a natural reset. And if there's one thing that can quietly cost business money, it's messy communication, missed calls, scattered texts, no clear thread of what is said. And that's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo, Quo, the smarter way to run your business communications. Quo is the #1 rated business phone system on G2 with over 3,000 reviews, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses. It lets your entire team share one business number so you never miss a call, a text, or an opportunity. Everything lives on one clean thread, and everything can stay together. The whole team sees the conversation, so nothing falls to the crack. And the AI summaries save serious time by logging calls and highlighting the next steps automatically. It just makes your business feel more organized. And when you're organized, you could be responsive. So make this season, no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo today, Quo, and you'll get 20% off of the first 6 months at quo.com/LockedOnNHL. QUO.com/LockedOnNHL. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. And it was really sad yesterday to receive that news. The Minnesota Wild organization, first ones to tweet out about the loss of Jesse Pierce, who was well-known, well-respected, covered the team, started out at NHL.com and did a ton of work in the sport of hockey. And they said she was a very kind, compassionate person, cared deeply about her family and those around her. She, both her and 3 of her children, gut-wrenching, lost their lives in a fire. So condolences going out to that family. Cassidy started off his presser, Chris, yesterday by acknowledging and sending out condolences as well. Very sad situation in the sport of hockey, which is really close, tightly knit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what there is to add to that. Gut wrenching is about the only way to say that, and just condolences to the family and the community.
A lot of people that we know knew her, too. So it really kind of hits home, for a lot of folks there. Very sad, and prayers to her family. Fool's gold or turning point for VGK. Some might call the win over the Stars a signature win for VGK, perhaps. For starters, the Golden Knights played a cohesive game, we felt. They attacked. They played heavy in the game as well. A momentum builder or a one-off win for VGK? That's the question. What will this team look like against Winnipeg on Tuesday night?
Not sure what they look like against Winnipeg, but hide your cereal bowls. It's the reality is the Stars came into this game a little more tired, 2 hours later, more travel. And again, acknowledge reality. Enjoy the victory for what it was. And I'm not going to say it's the Golden Knights are so back. That's not the case. Anyone that thinks that doesn't necessarily watch a lot of hockey. It was a good win and maybe the start of a corner being turned, but acknowledge the reality. This is the first clean win this Golden Knights team has had against a playoff team since the Titanic. Never mind, since sometime in November. When I say clean win, the game against Pittsburgh, no Malkin, no Crosby. Moving on, the game against Detroit, player hand passes the puck into the net, inexcusable. So, point being is this is good. It was a good win and signature win. Yes, it could be a signature win. If the Golden Knights do go on a run, then yes, we will go back and look at this game against Dallas on March the 22nd and say that was the moments. But to start, the victory parade, to start looking at dates to block out Las Vegas Boulevard, sometime in mid-June, relax, everybody. Relax, everybody. Let's just take a deep breath here. Enjoy the win. Let's see if they can continue or sustain. Is it sustainable, Tony? That's a buzzword we haven't used in a minute.
Mm-hmm. I think we need another article about this team. Let's go back to being on the Kool-Aid. Let's go back there. We need an article.
Your favorite was actually Gary commented on the Vegas Flamingo, the Victory Flamingos Twitter handle they made a comment about something somewhat negative about the team, and Gary was very quick to jump on that tweet. I'll find the post.
Okay. We have seen VGK in the past play down to opponents, right? We've seen that a lot. In off time, they play better against tougher opponents. That has been a trend. Was that the case yesterday?
I mean, the VGK is a team that people have been playing down to lately, Tony. Again, let's acknowledge reality for a second here. And again, the totality here doesn't suggest that things are all of a sudden fixed, right? A game against Winnipeg coming up. They better win that game. Major playoff implications against the Edmonton Oilers, who it looks like the Golden Knights are going to be matched up against in the first round. Home ice would be preferable. It's not the be all end all, but it's important. And then they go to Edmonton just a short 8 days later or something like that. And then 2 games against Seattle. So again, we can go back to this game on March the 22nd and say this was the game that started the corner to be turned, where things got right. If things do get right, you got a game against Calgary in there. You got another game against Winnipeg in there. I mean, this is not an easy schedule. Washington comes to town on Saturday. Logan wants to, find a path to defeat the Golden Knights and set them back. Vancouver, that better be a cookie. I mean, Vancouver's obviously tanking for McKenna right now, and that's really the only game I look at on the schedule where I'm like, they better win. That's the one they're going to win.
They play Gary. That team's still playing hard. I've got to give them a ton of credit. Of course
they are. Absolutely. Zach Whitecloud, welcome back video, April 2nd. There you go.
Oh, my goodness. The difference.
Whitecloud Revenge Tour begins.
Yeah. VGK finally defeating a playoff team, as you mentioned, and a really solid team. But hey, let's face it, they didn't beat victory. They did not beat Jake Ottinger. They beat a guy named DeSmith. They didn't beat the number one goaltender.
Smith's numbers were just as good.
Okay, the numbers were okay, but it's not Adi, whatever they call him.
Ottinger, Otter needs to.
Otter.
I gave all my tournament players nicknames in locker room yesterday. Some of the reactions were a little better than others, by the way.
Does everything in hockey have to be like an end in a Y, like Chrissy?
So Jackie? It's a Y, an ER, an S.
Well, what about the Schmeener? Where do they get Schmeener from? Like
Schmeener. Two syllables or less, and then ERSY.
Okay.
There's the rules.
All right.
There's the rules. I don't make up the rules.
So VGK wins they're back into second place. All 6 teams lost in action on Saturday. We saw some good things out of the Pacific on Sunday.
They all earned points.
VGK looking up still, 4 points behind that surprising Anaheim team. The Ducks topping the Sabres in overtime. The Kings beat the Mammoth, plus VGK's win. It's a huge day for the Pacific Division and Western Conference race.
Golden Knights are holding on to the playoffs in general by a 5-point margin against the Kings. Kings do have a game in hand right now. So that's something to, of course, keep an eye on. The Kings really being the only team that might. And Seattle's there, too. I mean, you got technically an 8-point swing coming up with Seattle, and San Jose seems to be falling out a little bit, and
Yeah, they're falling
Nashville
out.
in the playoffs after all this. So, I
Good
mean,
for Nashville.
this is
Hey,
insane.
well, yeah, Jonathan
Winnipeg is still in the
Marchessault,
hunt.
Riley Smith's old line mate, friend, Goomba, uh, with a lot of points, a lot of assists here down the stretch. He's really contributed despite being, some might say, a malcontent. Coming up next, the importance of having Riley Smith in the lineup down the stretch. We'll talk about it right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing. The one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on, you need the right hire. This is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed, sponsored jobs, it helps you to reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for, the skills, the experience, the location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute that I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, make sure that you spend less time searching and more time interviewing prospective candidates, all of those that check the boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs, less stress, less time, and more results. We need the right person to cut through the chaos. This is the job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of Locked On Golden Knights will receive a $75 sponsored job credit. It'll help you to get your job the premium status that it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Go there right now. Support Locked On Golden Knights by saying that you heard about it right here. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. Thank you for making Locked On Golden Knights your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network on the planet. Make sure you sign up today for the Locked On Everydayer Club. It's a lot of fun, a lot of trash talking going on with all those brackets. Join the Locked On Everydayer Club. Get the ad-free audio, access to our members-only Discord, and much, much more, all built for our most loyal fans. Join our Locked On Golden Knights community, LockedOnPodcast.com/everydayer. Riley Smith. Riley Smith has to be an everyday player down the stretch, and down the stretch they come for the final 11 games of the regular season. Enough of playing Braden Bowman. Bruce Cassidy scratching Bowman yesterday, and he does so for Riley Smith, who played the left wing on the second line, with Mitch Marner still at center. We don't agree with that. And Pavel Dorofeyev on the other side. And Smith has 21 points in a limited role, a limited time on ice. He's always around the puck. He typically plays better late in the season. He's one of those money puck players. I don't know if that makes any sense, whatever that might mean. But VGK should really lean on Riley Smith, on his experience, his wherewithal, and he seems to pick up the scraps a lot. This is money time for Riley Smith.
Riley Smith is nearing 1,000 NHL games played, 980. Over that mark, of course, when you factor playoffs, but the way it's monitored for the NHL, it's 980 games right now. Versus Braden Bowman's 40-something games, whatever his number is right now. So, yeah, I mean, if Bowman could have developed a consistent scorer's touch and you work on the defensive side of his game, okay, now we're talking about, now we got a decision to make here. But Riley Smith, much more responsible, and it can't be overstated that he also gave up a lot of money to come back to Vegas, I guess you can say it like that, or extend for one more year. His AFP analytics, I thought, were like in the 3.5 to even 4 range or something crazy like that.
And he signed for $1 million.
It was significantly higher than what he ended up taking. So
what did he take? What did he take? $1 million?
$2 million.
$2 million. Okay, $2
million.
Okay.
1 year, $2 million.
1 year.
But
2.
It makes sense to have Riley Smith in this lineup on the second line, and we can debate that, whatever. But I also understand Coach Cassidy's line composition for yesterday's game against the Stars, just basically trying to dummy things down a little bit, and it worked. I'd rather see Smith in a third line, type of role, but that's whatever. Coach Cassidy will make that decision. Hopefully things get better. But You need Smith out there on a daily basis. He's going to contribute in big moments. He's going to maybe be out of sight, out of mind most nights. And you know what? That's just fine. That's okay.
Okay, for the most part, I thought that Cassidy, and we love the guy, was in outer space himself by playing Bowman so much. He typically does not like the younger player. Was this something that came down from the top and said, you need to play Braden Bowman? I've thought about that an awful lot.
I mean, there have been records of outside interference going, especially back to the Leonard Logan Thompson moments and everything like that from McCrimmon, basically telling Pete DeBoer how things are going to go, and then Pete DeBoer pulls Robin Leonard after the first period in a big game and throws Logan Thompson out there. That was the demise of DeBoer in that 21-22 season. So McCrimmon, yeah, he's got that coach's instinct in him. But knowing how Cassidy is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen, Bowman was scoring. Bowman was there out of necessity. He was first man up, and whether he was the right call at the time or not, he was the first one up, and he got it going. So you couldn't take him out of the lineup for a while.
His last goal was February the 27th, 12 games ago against Washington. At Washington.
Yeah. And before that, there's not a whole lot.
He's hit a rookie wall, like so to speak. And
he's a rookie. He's a young kid.
Yeah, but he's played in 54
in the American League to become a professional, to learn how to become a professional player.
Right.
That's okay.
54
That's okay.
Of 70 games, 70, what is it? 70, 71 games, whatever it is, of 70 games. Yes, that's right. So I don't understand why they kept going back to Bowman when you have a winner in Riley Smith, a misfit, if you will, a guy that pretty much knows the ropes, knows the system. Does Mitch Marner have to play center on the second line, or can they move Smith to another line? Do you like him with Marner? We have to say that. Get that in for Marner Monday. And Marner had that assist on the game-winning goal, but does he have to be alongside Mitch Marner to succeed?
No. Riley Smith doesn't need to be alongside or attached to anyone. He's not that type of player. You're going to attach.
I got to be attached to you, Gawlik, to be successful. I mean,
I guess so, apparently. And I'll have my meatballs al dente while we're at it here.
We're waiting for the return of the great Willie Karlsson. Lars.
Yeah, no. But Riley Smith isn't the type of player that needs to be attached with someone to have success. And Mark Stone isn't that player either, but him and Jack Eichel work. When Mark Stone is healthy, that works at least. And we've seen Coach Cassidy like to pair players off as well.
Thank you for making Locked On Golden Knights your first listen of the day. Thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Make sure that you subscribe to our Locked On Everydayer Club and check it out. And you can find our ad-free audio, access to members-only Discord, and much, much more, all built for our most loyal fans. Tomorrow, preview of VGK versus Winnipeg.